This is your homework help video for transformations. This is day 1 of transformations, where we are learning about how changing M or changing B, how that affects your line. Directions say, given the graph of line y1, write the equation of the graph. Next, write the equation of a second line, y2, based on the changes stated. Then graph the second equation, y2, and describe the change. So first of all, we're looking at the line that's graphed. We come up with the equation. Okay? So let's do that first, and we're going to do that step for all the odd number problems, which is 1, 3, and 5. Okay? All I'm going to do first is just give the equation of the graph that's already on there. Okay? So number 1, let me zoom in so it'll help you guys see. Okay, so number 1, first of all, I'll look for my b value, because every equation is y equals mx plus b. I say begin with finding b. My b value is also known as my y-intercept. Where does this line cross the y-axis? It's right here. And what is that numerical value? It's down 3, so that's a value of -3. Okay? Now that I have my b, all I need is my slope, or my m value. To find the m value, we have to find as many friendly points on the graph as possible. Friendly points are the ones that cross perfectly through the grid lines. Okay? And my iPad's about to die, so I'm going to plug in real quick before the video shuts off. Okay, so if you look, there's lots of friendly points on that graph. It seems like every point is friendly, and I agree with you. It's going through the 4 corners every single time, right? So that would be a slope of 1 over 1. Up 1, 1 to the right. Up 1, 1 to the right. Up 1, 1 to the right. So that is y equals 1 over 1 x minus 3. And you can reduce that to just 1, right? Y equals 1x minus 3. So that's how we got that one. Now let's go ahead, before we move on, let's go ahead and do the same thing for number 3. So here's a line. I once again want to find my b value. How do I find this number? Well, where is it crossing the y-axis? It's right here, and that's a value of +2. So my b value is a +2. This time, though, my slope is going downhill, so it's negative, right? So my stair steps are not going to go up and right. They're going to go down and right, down and right. I need to find my friendly points, and it's a little harder to find them on this graph. No friendly points here until I get to right there is a friendly point, crossing the grid, and right here. And then going the other way, right here, and right here. These are all pretty friendly points. Once you find your friendly points, you can find the pattern. We're going down 1, 3 to the right. Down 1, 3 to the right. Down 1, 3 to the right. Every single time. Down 1, 3 to the right. And that's how you know if you have the right pattern. It should work over and over and over again. If it starts gradually going off the line, then it's probably not the right slope, okay? But our slope here is down 1, 3 to the right, or -1/3. So our equation is y equals -1/3 x plus 2. Number 5, let's go ahead and find the equation of that one. Okay, we're looking for our y equals mx plus b. We're looking for the b number. And right here, it's right in the middle at the origin. So it didn't go up on y, it didn't go down, it stayed at 0. So we could leave it off, or we could just write in +0. And now our slope is a positive slope because it's going uphill. Let's find the friendly points. Starting here, let's find another one. There's one. Here's one. Here's one. And going the other way, there's several the other way as well. There you go. Now going from one friendly point to the next using our stair-step movement, we're going up 1, 2 to the right. Up 1, 1, 2 to the right, up 1, 2 to the right, and so on. Since it's a positive, it's going to be a positive slope. 1/2 x. So y equals 1/2 x plus 0, or you could leave off the 0 and let it be y equals 1/2 x. So now that we've done the first step on all three of the odd problems. Let's move on to the next step. Okay, we're going to talk about the vocabulary. For number 1, it says increase the slope to 3. Now, I want to explain the difference between increasing to a number and increasing by a number. If they said increase the slope by 3, we would take our slope, which is 1 here, and we would add 3 to it. They're not saying increase it by 3. They're actually saying change the slope to 3. Okay? So that's really easy. You just change it to 3. So our new slope is 3. So now we have y equals 3x. Now translating, if I translate up or down, I have to start wherever my line starts and then move from there. So if it says translate up 2 units, we're talking about the B number when we translate. I'm going to go ahead and label that on all of the odds. We're talking about the B number on all those times when it says translate up or down. So I start at my current B value, which was -3, and I translate it up 2, which means I count from here up to 1, 2. This is my new B value, and that is -1. So what I did is I increased the slope to 3, or I changed the slope to 3. I translated up 2 on my B value. Now it's -1. Let's graph the new line. My starting value, my B value, is now -1. And now my slope is a stair-step count of up 3 over 1. Instead of up 1, now it's up 3 over 1. So up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, and so on. And we could go down 3, left 1 if we want to get one that way. Okay, now that I have that, I will go ahead and connect those. I don't have a ruler right beside me, so I'll just use this pen. And there's my line. Now that we have the line, we can describe how the line changed. It went from this steepness to this steepness. If I was climbing this hill, that'd be kind of steep. But if I was climbing this hill, I'd be slipping and sliding just trying to make my way up there. It's so steep, right? So it got much steeper. And what else happened? It translated up. And they pretty much told us that. We just rewrite it. It translated up too. And that's how we describe our change, okay? It got steeper, rotation steeper, if you want to use that, rotation steeper, and translated up too. Okay, let's do number 3. Number 3, we need to change our current equation, y equals -1/3 x plus 2. They say to decrease the slope to -4. So we're changing it from the -1/3 to -4. That's my new slope. So now I have y equals -4x. And now they want me to translate it down to. Remember, translating deals with the B number. Here's my B number. And now I want to go down to 1, 2. Now my B value is 0. You could write that, or you could even leave it off. I'm just going to write it just to show that we did do that. Okay? Now let's graph the new line. If my B value is 0, I'm right here. And my slope is now 4 down, 1 to the right. So starting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit off the grid, but 1 to the right. I could go up and left if I really wanted to get one going the other way. Let's connect it. It's really steep. Okay. So that is the new line. Now what happened? It definitely got steeper. It went from a pretty small slope of 1/3 to a very steep slope of 4. And notice we're not really focused on the negative sign, because the negative sign doesn't change steepness. That only affects direction. Both directions are the same. They're both negative and they're both going downhill. All right, so it did rotate. The rotation was steeper. And it translated down 2 units, which they told us right here. We need to write that. Translated down 2. All right, one more and we'll be done with the odds. Okay, this one, our original equation that we found was y equals 1/2 x plus 0. They want us to multiply the slope by 2. Well, what is the slope? The slope is 1/2. If you have trouble multiplying fractions, just put it in the calculator. You could just go control divide and put in 1/2, and you can multiply it by 2. If you're not sure, take the time to do this and you'll be sure after you get the answer, okay? It's 1. Now, another way you could think of it is, remember the word multiply, it's almost like saying, when I say multiply by 2 and it's 1/2 times 2, sometimes the word of means multiply. It's basically saying what is half of 2? Half of 2 is 1. Okay, but whatever way works for you is what's best. Okay, so I multiplied it by 2. Now my new slope is 1. So that's going to be y equals 1x, which we could leave off as invisible if we wanted to. We translated up 3 units. So I started here at 0 and now I go up 3 units. I'm now at 3. My new equation is y equals 1x plus 3. Here's my beginning value. My slope is going to be up 1, 1 to the right, up 1, 1 to the right. There it is, going both directions. Let's, I went ahead and grabbed a straight edge this time. There's my new line. What happened to the line? It got, here it was, and it started going this way. So it did rotate. It rotated steeper again, right? Because the number got bigger. It went from 1/2 to 1. So it is a rotation steeper once again. And it translated up 3. So I hope that gives you a few more examples and help on some of these problems. Go ahead and do the odds on your own and come in for tutoring if you have more questions.